Everybody, this is Waldog. Waldog, the Holy Vampire. I just got home. I went to therapy. It was really, really good. It's like every time I go, I'm really grateful and glad that I went. It's funny also, like every time before I go, I'm always like super hesitant and super like, oh, like don't like making up excuses because I'm afraid. It's interesting. It's just I'm so used to that. I'm just like, oh, whatever. It's like, uh, anyways, I'm gonna make a joke, but I don't really feel like making a joke. Hey, it was really good. Super duper tired, but I've learned some things tonight in regards to doing things the hard way, as far as like doing things the right way and not cutting corners, or in regards to recovery, um, recovery from drug use and um, a person in the therapy group talked about how it's like going through a tunnel and you can't turn around until you go all the way to the other side. It's like the tunnel's too small for your car to turn around or whatever. And the person described that as the process that I'm going through, that we were going through, we are going through in recovery and developing ourselves as people. So I really like that. Uh, and it ties to something I was reading the other day about, a story about a blind man uh, having to reach out in the darkness all the time, and he had to rely on his faith that there was something there in the darkness that he couldn't see. And that is, a great analogy, great story for what, I'm doing, what we're doing for not, I'm going to use a couple of these expressions, but like not jumping out, not jumping, I'm trying to think of the right words. Like not jumping into things, and not because of the difficulty and the feelings, but just realizing that I'm in a tunnel, and that this is what I have to go through to get to the other side. And I talked about how I've been not smoking for about over 2 weeks now, and the no caffeine thing. So yeah. And I got to talk. I got to have some one-on-one time with talking about what I'm realizing. My one of my main issues right now, as far as like talking about therapy. Uh, it basically the short of it is, and I'll talk about this because I know it's good for me to talk about. It's just, and I hope that other people can relate. I'm sure they can. Not feel so alone about it. Basically, not wanting to be wrong because it makes you look bad. And if you look bad, or if you're wrong, that makes you vulnerable. And uh, And if you're vulnerable and if you're unprepared, as I was when I was very young, you get hurt. Nothing you can do about it. So it's one thing that I am talking about, uh, and as a sense of an explanation of why I worry. I worry because I'm afraid of being found out, that I don't have the answers, and be put into a jeopardy, to be put into a vulnerable state. So I don't think I'm alone in that. I don't think like that's uncommon. I could see how that's a very common thing for people. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. But I at least came to the awareness of it and a better understanding, vocalizing it, and also writing in my like journaling, that was the issue, or a issue of a bigger issue, but that is an issue. So I don't know. I've never dealt with this problem before, and it was brought to my attention as I was in spiritual meditation earlier this morning. It came to me, and then I wrote it down. So, yeah. I think what I'm going to do is play some video games and relax. Make some oatmeal. I like oatmeal. And yeah, just do some rest. So I appreciate y'all. And, uh, I do want to comment about a couple things. So, like I talked about the other day, like someone, just a random person, was like, his face just changed. I saw his face change. And it was like it wasn't a big deal. Like it was like, it's kind of funny, but also it's like, one of those things that kind of bothers me a little bit, because I'm still, getting used to it, even though it's been, uh, it's just a difficult thing for me as a vampire. And today I was at the gym and I was working out, and like, I'm pretty, I don't know what the word is, but I'm, I'm very visible. I'm a very visible person, very visible. And I don't know, just working out, and then I go, no problem, and then I go. I guess somebody was watching me or looking at me or something. I don't know. But anyway, I go into the locker room, and no problem. Like it's not a big deal or anything. But a guy on the phone, I could hear him. He looks at me, he looks away, and I'm just like trying to do my thing, not trying to talk to anybody or anything like that. And I could hear him on the phone. He's just like, I can't look at him. I can't even look at him. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, my first response was like, I pause, right? I don't react. But like from a short-sighted perspective, I'm like, well, that kind of hurts my feelings. If someone's like, I can't look at this person, or like, hey, his face changed, or like, it's just like some kind of derogatory remark, but it's like an honest thing. But like from a non-short-sighted perspective, which was where I instantly went to, I was like, I understand that this person right now is pretty psychotic, or he's feeling those sensations of that, uh, of feeling that way, and that perhaps him looking at me is making him feel that way. And he didn't necessarily sound like distraught or distressed, maybe distressed a little bit. But it was just just one of those things. Like, I can see the bigger picture, and because I see the bigger picture, I understand, and I have an awareness of human nature, and me saying all this in a good sense, in a positive sense, and also with in reference to supernatural and being supernatural. I realized that I used to feel bad about this. I used to feel guilty and shamed until I realized it's in human nature. When a person sees something or experiences something supernatural, they lose their minds to temporarily. Not all the time, not for everybody, but in most cases I've seen this, and not in a severe way, not in a, but more in a disorienting kind of way. I realize this. That is human nature, as I've come to understand it, and I'm grateful that I've come to that realization, because it's taken away the responsibility, or should I say the guilt, off my shoulders. To say, God made us this way, and this is my opinion, and my, yeah, that, God made us this way for a reason. So, I'm not the only supernatural thing out there, and I'm definitely nice and kind, and I still have feelings of guilt, but those are mostly irrational, from when I was younger, just still coming to understand who and what I am as a vampire. So, anywho, just want to talk about that. Appreciate y'all for letting me talk. So, hope y'all have a good night, and I'm gonna go eat that oatmeal. All right, y'all. Bye.